one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This movie was insane. What was the biggest challenge for you, Mr. President?
Well, I mean, I guess, bringing my own I don't know, ideas about politics and about humanity to bear in an Alex Garland film. And the great thing is he's such a great writer that it kind of, if somebody called me and said, hey, I want you to play the president, I'd be like, wow, that's complicated. But he's such a great writer that he kind of answers all the questions you need answered. So by the time you get to work, I'm not worried about anything because I know exactly what he needs me to be to serve his story.
And the way you came across on screen, I mean, obviously believable. You're excellent at your craft, but you're also a comedian as well. So sometimes I would try to look for that comedic, but it didn't come through in this particular role.
Well, it's interesting. Something I love about he's so thoughtful in his casting. I mean, the things that the audience might expect from me and from Kirsten and from Stephen and Wagner and Kaylee, and even in the smaller cameos like with Jesse Plemons, the way Alex plays with the expectation of like, oh, this guy, he chose somebody who sometimes is funny as the president. Oh, but then, when you listen to what he's saying, it's you're like, okay, we've known this guy to be full of before, but now this is a different flavor.
I want to ask you this. You mentioned Jesse kind of having that small cameo, but also Kirsten Dunst. She is one of the stars in this film as well. What was it like working with her? And also, did you see any dynamic between her and her hubby on set as well?
Well, I worked on the season of Fargo where she and Jesse kind of met and began sparking. It hadn't occurred to me that perhaps I'm the matchmaker in that household, and I should maybe be getting a percentage of some of these jobs they're doing. I worked with Kirsten years before that. I played her brother in a movie called All Good Things. And so, sort of having known her for some history, I just find her like really dependable. Like, you know what I mean? She's the shortstop on our softball team that whenever she comes back up to the plate, we're like, all right, cool, we can all take a break because Kirsten's going to hit it out of the park. She's just really quietly dependable. She's been doing it a long time. She's not flashy or showy. Her work speaks for itself. And I think she's just a brilliant choice because it's unexpected that she's quietly become adult enough to be a sort of battle-worn journalist, where you're like, oh God, I'm really buying it. I didn't see her, she and Jesse together when they were in Atlanta at work. I did see them at a pizza place together, and we all misbehaved as you would expect.
I love it. What type of misbehaving we talking?
Oh, just calorically, mainly, maybe one too many drinks and one too many slices.
That's how we like it. How we like it. My final question for you. Working with a cast of this caliber is so much fun. Can you take me behind the scenes? How did you guys make sure that you had that cohesion where it looked believable? I mean, I was just talking to JoJo. She said she was learning from real life people like in the Army and people who were in the military. Like, this was a challenge for her. And I mean, she did some heavy lifting. So same thing for you?
They did. Well, no, I mean, my role is sort of the bookends, and the leads of the movie are the entrees. I'm like the amuse-bouche and maybe a mint on your pillow at the end of the meal. And so for me, I got to sort of give them morale boosts and say, how are you guys doing? Because they're shooting the really intense stuff.
And like you just mentioned really quickly, seeing Kirsten Dunst grow up before your eyes, what is that like for you?
I mean, it's wonderful. It's such an incredibly hard business, especially to be a beautiful, talented young blonde woman and come out, maintaining a sense of integrity and always be making choices that are using your head and not your cheerleading attributes, as it were, and so to see her continue to knock them down is really gratifying, and I'm grateful to be in her court.